A queen sack followed by an under promotion to a bishop? This is the incredible combination that a Grandmaster failed to place 2 days ago in Reykjavik. I'll not only show you this marvel, but the 5 most extraordinary bishop under promotions that took place in real games. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this video, the second one of my new chess channel. You might wonder, why would anyone want to promote a pawn to a bishop? The first reason is actually very simple, just for fun. Let me put a position. This was taken from a game Caruana against Robson from the 2021 US Chess Championship. Here, white could not play a8 queen because there is a fork, but the obvious win was to promote the pawn to queen, and after king takes, then queening the pawn on a8 with check, and it is game over. For some reason, I suspect Fabi decided to promote his pawn to bishop instead, after which Robson resigned. The second reason is more serious. Let me put this position. It's taken from a game Grischuk against Pugh, back when they were very young, because it was the under 12 World Chess Championship. Here down 3 pawns, Lefang found this amazing resource, rook to f8, and obviously taking the rook is impossible because it leads to stalemate. But Grischuk saw all this and put his rook to b8, after which rook takes, and promoting the pawn to queen would also lead to stalemate, as well as the rook under promotion, but Sasha promoted his pawn to a bishop, after which Lefang had to resign. So this is actually pretty cool, but there is a but. Sasha could also have promoted his pawn to a knight, after which white is obviously totally winning, and Lefang would also have resigned. So, does it ever happen that a bishop under promotion is the absolute only win? The answer is yes, and we are going to see the top 5 of the most amazing bishop under promotion that are also the only win. And number 5 is this game between Chan and Depasquale. It is black to move. The obvious move, queening the pawn, would lead to a draw after rook d8 check, and for instance, king to h7, rook to h8, king to g7, rook to g8. Black doesn't want to lose the queen, so they have to take the rook, and it is stalemate. Obviously, there is no point at all in promoting to a rook because the knight will be emprise. So Depasquale found the amazing bishop under promotion, which was the only winning move. After this, Chan played a check, but with 2 minor pieces against only a rook, black is totally winning, and indeed they won the game in a few moves. Bishop h6, it would have been followed by king g6, winning the rook, so white resigned. Number 4 is a classical game, Reshko against Kaminsky. It's a position full of tricks that everyone must know, at least should. For instance, one trick is queen to f8, with the idea of promoting the pawn on the next move, but there is no next move because g6 is made thanks to this spin of the f5 pawn. So obviously Reshko did not play queen to f8, but queen to e8 instead, controlling a8 as well as g6. And it looks like black is about to resign because white will have an extra queen on the next move, won't he? Nope, he won't, because Kaminsky found an amazing resource, queen to b7. and now a8 queen would lead to stalemate after queen to f7 check. Only one legal move, taking the queen, and it is stalemate. Wow, amazing, isn't it? But Kaminsky understood all that, and he promoted his pawn to bishop instead, after which he won the game in a few moves. But was it the only winning move? Yes, it was, because obviously promoting a pawn to rook leads to the same stalemate, and promoting the pawn to a knight instead leads to this amazing fortress, unsurprising fortress. White is up a piece, up a knight, a wall knight, but his queen has to keep control of the f7 square to prevent all mate. The knight cannot move because it will be emprise. Obviously playing g5 and allowing queen to f3 mate will be rather unfortunate. And if I play, for instance, queen to f8, it's black to move. So black just waits, queen a7, preventing the knight from moving. So now g5 only leads to exchanges and nothing good happened. And if white waits, black can do the same, and there is absolutely nothing white can do. g5 is mate, and queen to e8. I go back to a7 and offer a draw. So yeah, in this position, a8 bishop is the only winning move, and I can show you the rest of the game. Not very interesting, but black took that time to resign. Only after king g6 did Oleg Kaminsky finally resign. Okay, so let's go to the third most amazing bishop under promotion that ever happened. It's a famous game too between Kholmov and Ehlvest. It's a Rookian game, as you can see, and white looks totally losing because black has an extra pawn and it is on h2, and black has a rook behind the passed pawn, so it looks like game over. But Kholmov played his rook to a1 with a deadly threat. So you might think, but wait a minute, I just queen my pawn and the queen controls the square. But after rook to a8 check, queen takes, it is a draw by stalemate. Yep, the rook controls all the squares on the 5th rank, and it is stalemate indeed. So now you see the move, obviously h1 bishop under promotion with the idea of rook a8, bishop takes, and the king can move and has to, unfortunately for him. But actually it's not so easy for black to win this position with an extra bishop. But Ehlvest displayed a perfect technique, so it's very instructive. Kholmov played rook to f1 with a huge threat once again. Ehlvest played rook back to h8, rook f7 with the idea of coming behind the passed pawn, but black was first, rook to e8, and after king to c5, e5, king to d6, there are still a few tricks. For instance, e4 is premature because rook to f1 attacking the bishop, and if I move it, then rook to b1, and suddenly white is winning even. Looks like, no, maybe it's a draw, no, it's a draw, rook to e6, but anyway, you do not want that. So instead, black play the nice bishop back to b7, after which it's just push, 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 push. There is absolutely nothing white can try. That's why poor Kholmov resigned in this position. So we are already at the second most amazing bishop under promotion. It's a game Sokolsky against Ravinsky. It's a fascinating position. Black has only a rook and a bishop they can play, because their king on g8 is already stalemated, so it's full of stalemate tricks. For instance, it's right to move, and if they promote their a7 pawn to a queen, then the queen pins the bishop, and black has this so-called mad rook theme. White will be forced sooner or later to take the rook, for instance after these few checks, and king takes leads to stalemate. Okay, so you already guessed what happens. White promoted his pawn to a bishop, but was it the absolute only winning move? The answer is yes, because if we promote the pawn to a knight, then black plays rook to c8, and our own rook is on a rather unfortunate position because it prevents the knight from jumping to b6. And if we try knight to c7, black can take, and rook b8. It seems like we are going to mate on the next move, but nope, we are only going to stalemate because of another mad rook. We could also have protected the knight with rook a6, but black can simply take it anyway, because it's the same stalemate once again. So a8 knight, a nice try, but it's a draw. It might seem that we can play a move like rook to a6 with the idea of pushing the pawn, and it should win. And actually, if you put this position, if you check this position with a computer, even a modern computer and Stockfish, the newest Stockfish or whatever, it will say something like +5, totally winning for white. But it is a very rare position where the human mind, maybe not my mind, but a grandmaster's mind, is actually better than an engine, because this is a fortress. Believe it or not. Black will play like rook to c8. Obviously there is no point in queening. Rook to c2 or even taking the queen leads to the same stalemate. And if we push, black doesn't play bishop to c6 now, because white could take it, and it's mate now. But they wait for white to play b6, after which they will play bishop to c6. For instance, they can play rook to d8, and white plays b5, rook to c8, b6, and now and only now bishop to c6. And black next move will be bishop to a8, after which they will just move the rook, and there is nothing white can do. For instance, rook to a1, bishop to a8, rook to d1, I play rook to e8, rook to c1, rook to d8, and after, for instance, rook to c1, I can even take if I want. I'm not forced, but I can, because this is a clear draw. I will just move my bishop back and forth, and if you take it, good for you, but it's a draw by stalemate. So yeah, fascinating position indeed, where human minds are better than computers. So Sokolsky played a8 bishop here in this position, the only winning move, but it's not so easy yet. For instance, rook to c8, bishop to e4. So because black's king is stalemated already, black can try to just give their pieces. Bishop to c6, for instance. This is a line which has been discovered by a Dutch master and composer named Kholmov. And you can find all this information on an incredible website, Tim Krabbe's website. It is an old website. It has this vintage charm of a website created by hand, written by hand in the 90s. It is full of wonderful positions and resources for every chess lover. I will put the link in the description. Anyway, bishop c6, white can take, and now black just want to give the rook. So I play rook to a8, and my idea is if you take it, it's draw, and if you don't, I will play rook to a2 with a mad rook, and it will lead to stalemate. So now only winning move for white is bishop to a4 to prevent the check. But I play rook to e8. If you take it, it's a draw, and if you don't, I will give a check with a mad rook and a draw. Only one winning move for white, king to a3 to hide from checks. But I go back to a8 and I offer a draw, because what can you do? If you stay on a3 with your king, I take the bishop and it's a mad rook. If you move your king back to b2, I move my rook back to e8. So it's a draw, isn't it? Nope, it is not. There is this incredible move, rook to e6, only winning move. And yeah, now there is no point in giving the rook, because there is not stalemate anymore. It is not stalemate anymore. And if I don't play rook takes a4, what can I do? Rook to b8, but now there is no stalemate. Tricks left, and white can simply push the pawn, and it's winning. Okay, fascinating position, indeed. So, I'm going to show you the most amazing bishop underpromotion that could have happened in a real chess game. Just before that, if you like this video, and I hope you do, please press the like button. And if you want to support this new channel of mine, please subscribe. I will be very, very grateful. Thank you. Are you ready? This is the position. It's taken from a game between two grandmasters, with white Johann Hjartarson against Mads Andersen. It was played 2 days ago at the Reykjavik Open 2022. Here white plays a very natural looking move, pawn to e7, and the game ended in a draw after many more moves. The wonderful, extraordinary combination that white has instead is to put the queen en prise to f7. Black has to take it, and after pawn takes, black would not have played king to f8, because after knight g6 check, queen takes, h5 take. Unfortunately for black, the h6 pawn can move, so there is no mad rook. For instance, we can sack it, but black has to play h5, no stalemate. So instead of king f8, black has this extraordinary resource, which is remindful of the game we just saw earlier, Reshko, with white against Kaminsky with black. King to h7 with the idea, if white promotes to a queen, then queen g2 or h1, and it is a draw because of the stalemate. So the win, now you see it, obviously it's to promote the pawn to a bishop, and with a rook, a bishop, a knight and a pawn for a queen only, white is totally winning. Wow, what an amazing combination. First a queen sack, and then after a couple of moves, a bishop under promotion. Do not leave yet, because I have a special bonus for you. It's an exercise, taken from a game Boniface with white against Pugh with black. And I have 3 questions to you, to which you can answer in the comments below. First question is, what is white best move? Second question, what is black best answer to this move? And third question, how do you evaluate the result in endgame? That's all for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please like, and ciao!